Aloha! It's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be interviewing a friend of the show, writer James Aquilone. Now, James has been on the show multiple times. God, man, James, I think you've been on about 5 or 6 times. Something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
you know.
It's a
But
regular thing now.
yes, and thank you. I'm going to say thank you very much for coming back. Thank you very much. Now, he is here to promote his latest Kickstarter, Weird Tales graphic novel. Now, the Kickstarter pre-launch page is already up and running, so please, if you're interested, in pulp horror, science fiction, fantasy stories, this is the one to check out. So again, like I mentioned, the pre-launch Kickstarter page is up. The Kickstarter campaign should be launching sometime in the beginning of February. So, James, did I get that information correct? That it'll probably launch
Yes,
sometime in, okay. All right.
yes. First week, maybe the second week, but
But
you never know.
yes, but you know what? Um but listeners, if you guys are interested, again, just go to the pre-launch page, kick that you want to be, press that button to be notified, and you know, and they'll notify you guys when this campaign begins. All right, so James, welcome back to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm trying to keep warm. We're freezing here in New York.
I
I'm sure it's nice and sunny over there.
yes, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I'm sorry, James. I shouldn't have laughed because yes, listeners, I'm in Hawaii and James is in New Jersey, right? And it's
No, Staten Island, New York.
I'm sorry, Staten Island. I'm sorry, where it's like one of the worst snowstorms in a while. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, James. I didn't mean to laugh when you said it's like I'm freezing here, and so sorry about that. You have to do a Kickstarter launch sometime in Hawaii in February, January, February. Just come out here, right?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah.
All right. So, James, I'm going to say thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to interview you. Thank you very much. So, now, listeners, I just want to give a little bit background on James. Now, he is the writer of Dead Jack, the zombie detective series. He and also I want to point this out too. He has won numerous awards. He is a Bram Stoker winner. So, he is also the owner of Monstrous Books and has ran several successful Kickstarter campaigns. I'm just going to go over a couple of them, and James, feel free to jump in. Okay, so of course the you know he started off with Kolchak, the Night Stalker 50th anniversary graphic novel. Now that won a number of awards. Um, Also, he's also including the Bram Stoker Award. Um, Also, too, he's done anthology pro novels such as Shakespeare Unleashed and classics Monsters Unleashed. And James, I'm joking on this part. And he is going to in the future, 2038, he's going to be a Nebula Award winner. That's what we're going to
Oh,
predict that.
okay.
We're going to throw that out.
That's a tough one to win.
But but who knows, man? That's like what 12 years from now. But remember that,
Okay.
you know, remember that when you're like, holy cow, Jason predicted. I want a
I
name
have to
thrown out
remember that. Thank you for saying that.
there. All right, so James, I'm going to ask, did I miss anything, or do you want to add anything that you know?
Yeah, that was pretty thorough. I think we got to all the important things.
Okay, and then so now I've already so I'm going to ask, where can people follow you on social media?
The best thing to do is probably go to our website, which is
Mm-hmm.
monstrousverse.com, and the links are all there.
Mm-hmm.
We're Monstrous. Well, we changed things up a little bit because we were Monstrous Books. You can
Mm-hmm.
still go to Monstrous Books and it'll still take you to the website, but we went to Monstrous Verse because we've expanded. We do comics now. We
Mm-hmm.
do books. We do trading cards.
Yes.
Uh, I'm selling stuff on Whatnot too
Oh.
now. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing I do card breaks. You know that what that is?
No, I don't know.
So like you buy a box of cards.
Uh-huh. Oh. Mhm.
Usually called hobby boxes.
Yes.
I do Star Wars too. I do Star Wars. I do sports. So you buy the box of books,
Mm-hmm.
a box of cards or whatever. Baseball, it's a little easier because you buy a team.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get every card in that from that team. With some like Star Wars, you buy a character, so you get, if you
Mhm.
get Han Solo, you get any Han Solo cards or whatever, you get it in there. So we do a live stream. I do it every Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So and we're on TikTok too.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Everything's Monstrous verse.
Hmm.
On a couple of them where I couldn't get Monstrous verse, it's Monstrous
Hmm.
underscore verse. So we are
Oh,
now, I think we're on pretty much every social media now.
oh, that's pretty good. And then also too, your website, of course, it's selling the Shakespeare Unleashed, the classic Unleashed books. Correct me if I'm wrong. The comment is it oh shoot, um, Dr.
11?
Omega.
Yeah.
Is that on there too for listeners to check out?
Yes, you can get the first issue. You can get the print version and the digital.
Hmm.
Issue two should be coming out in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And then let's see. And if there's like any Kolchak fans out there, they can go to the website, check that out because I know you guys um the original novel by Jeff Rice, you
Yeah,
guys
price.
have that available on there too as well, right?
Uh, I think it's available on. Yeah, I mean, if I mean, it's all available on Amazon and
Oh,
Barnes and Noble.
oh, that's
And
good.
we do have distribution now, so things will be available in bookstores. Or
Oh,
and if it's not, you should ask. Yeah, ask your
yeah.
local book dealer to carry it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. That is so nice. Okay. All right. Um listeners, I also for to prepare for this interview, I got some of the information from the YouTube podcast Nerds Rule the World. Now, that was dated on January 7th, 2026. James was interviewed, by their lead editor, Heather Hurt. She is also known on Blue Sky. Heather is a nerd. Now, that was a fun episode. I love that interview. That was pretty cool. I loved it. So, listeners, if you guys get a chance, check out that fun episode. So, all right, James, before we jump into the campaign, I just want to ask you a little bit, give us a little history about the Weird Tales. So, if you can just give us a brief history about the Weird Tales magazine. I know, like, in one interview, I know briefly talked about the history of it, but, just for either new listeners or even old listeners like me that may have forgotten, what is the Weird Tales magazine?
So Weird Tale started in 1923.
Uh-huh.
It's one of the original pulp magazines,
Mm-hmm.
like Amazing Stories, Black Mask. Uh, Weird Tales kind of focused more on horror, but they did publish everything. They
Mm-hmm.
published science fiction, fantasy. So what they're really known for is really starting the careers of H.P. Lovecraft
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and Robert E. Howard, who
Mm-hmm.
created Conan and Solomon Kane.
Mm-hmm.
But it also started the careers, or was, published the early works of Ray Bradbury,
Yes.
Robert Bloch,
Mm-hmm.
even Richard Matheson. I think had his first short story was published in Weird
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tales. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, not
Oh.
Richard Matheson. Michael Avalone, I know, was one of
Mm-hmm.
his first short stories.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very important in horror fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but even some of the early like space opera short stories were
Mm-hmm.
published in Weird Tales too. The first, obviously because of Conan, it was the first like sword and sorcery stories were also published in
Mm-hmm.
Weird Tales. So pretty much every subgenre you can think of,
Mm-hmm.
uh, pretty much started in Weird Tales.
Mm-hmm.
Space opera, sword and sorcery, weird fiction, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so Weird Tales is a very important magazine, and it's still going. They still publish.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Mayberry is the editor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the managing editor.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing it for now 10 years,
Yes.
which is crazy. The original run was from 1923 to like 1954 or 1955.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was revived in the late 80s. And then it's kind of been back, they would publish for a few years and then they would
Mm-hmm.
stop and they would publish. So the newest run has with Jonathan Mayberry at the helm has been going for the last 10 years. So
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing pretty well. They publish about 3 issues a year now,
Oh, okay.
and they have a deal with Blackstone Publishing where they have their own line of novels. So they have Weird Tales Presents and it's the first time Weird Tales is putting out their own novels.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, James, I just want to add on a little bit more because listeners, when I was doing just a little bit back research on the Weird Tales, you know, um, as James has mentioned, this, it started back in 1923. And if I got my information correct, I think like two college friends, JC, JC Henberg and JM Langzin, um, started the Weird Tales magazine. And I'm going to be honest, I keep hearing the word pulp magazine thrown around. I really didn't know what that meant.
Hmm.
I did a little bit more research, and hopefully I got this correct from Wikipedia because it was called a pulp magazine because the magazine was printed on cheap wood paper compared to
Hmm.
magazines that were published during that time with high quality paper. So and also, so I'm guessing, I don't know, and you can correct me on this, James, but I guess because since it was printed on like um these cheap wood pulp papers, they were a little bit more cheaper to buy, you know, at
Yeah.
wherever like newsstands or wherever, you know.
I think it
Uh
was just like, 5 cents, 10 cents.
yeah.
It was like comic books at the time. It was
Yes.
considered a cheap form of entertainment and something that you just maybe read and you throw
Mhm.
away.
Yeah.
Which makes it now, obviously that is very valuable if you have copies of Weird Tales. They're very expensive. They go into thousands of dollars, and they're usually not in very good condition.
Because yeah.
The Weird Tale stuff, because you're talking, years even before, like Superman. It was like
Yes.
1923 stuff and early 30s. But yeah, whenever I see them at like conventions and stuff for sale, they're always in really bad shape. But they still go for like $3,000, or so for a copy.
Wow. I hate to see how much the one that printed the first Conan short story.
Yeah, yeah, they go for a lot of money. I don't have any. I would love to have a copy of the old Weird Tales, but yeah. I mean, if you were on a really cheap copy, they have to be in like totally, almost destroyed. The condition is like, this terrible. But yeah, yeah, and as often happens, is that's the stuff that becomes valuable, is the stuff that at the time wasn't considered worth anything, and especially stuff that people are encouraged to throw away,
hmm
which makes it more scarce.
Yes, yeah. And then so okay, so I'm gonna say the current so you and Jonathan Mayberry, listeners, Jonathan Mayberry is the author of the Joe Ledger series. So I know you mentioned that you guys it's the current run is like printed three times a year. Um I have a dumb question. So these current issues, does it have, well, of course it's going to have new stories, but do you guys reprint some of the old stories as well in some of them?
Not really. They used to do that. Now it's just all original stuff. They haven't really reprinted anything in a while. But that
Okay.
that used to be like a regular feature in Weird Tales a few years back.
hmm
But they haven't done that in a while. They have put out some compilations of reprinted stuff.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
like anthologies of reprinted stories.
hmm
Um, I actually reprinted the Michael Avalone short story, "The Man Who Walked on Air," in my Monstrous magazine uh, last year or the year before that, which is how I became familiar with the story and well, we can talk about that later. But
Yeah.
but
hmm
yeah, I've reprinted a Weird Tales story not too long ago.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So that's perfect segue. Let's start talking about Weird Tales, the original graphic novel. Let's just jump right in. So, so and listeners, like I talked to James and I mentioned that me and James have mentioned that he's been on numerous times on the podcast. So, and I know and right now I know you're working on a number of Kickstarters right now. So, but I'm gonna just ask, how did you come up with the idea to come up with the Weird Tales graphic novel? Because this is the first time it's going to be the format of a comic, like a comic book graphic novel. So, how did you come up with the idea to do one?
Well, there's never been officially licensed Weird Tales comic or graphic novel, so I thought
Hmm.
that was strange. I was like, that's weird,
Yeah.
because you had stuff like creepy and eerie. You
Yes.
had Tales from the Crypt, a lot of stuff that was very similar, and basically were definitely inspired by Weird Tales, but there was never a Weird Tales. It had never
Hmm.
had its own. So, I do comics, so I mean, I'm
Yeah.
always looking for stuff like that hasn't been done before, and I've been working with Weird Tales, so that was something that we've been, or I've been trying to get them to let me do
Hmm.
for years.
Oh, okay.
So I've
Yeah.
been trying to do this for at least 5 or 6 years. So they finally said, "Okay, let's do it." So I said, "Great," But yeah, I mean, I mean, Weird Tales has a strange history because it was very influential, but even during its original run, it wasn't very financially successful.
Hmm.
There have been a lot of movies and TV series, based on the stories in Weird Tales, but there's
Hmm.
never been like a Weird Tales movie.
Hmm.
Um, all of Lovecraft stuff has been made turned into movies and other, and in comics.
Hmm.
Call of Cthulhu that was first published in Weird Tales. So
Hmm.
Cthulhu starts in Weird Tales too. Cthulhu starts in Weird Tales, and and Conan starts in Weird Tales, and Solomon
Yes.
Kane starts in Weird. So Weird Tales has never really they never were able to make that kind of leap
Hmm.
into comics and into movies, at least where it was seen as a Weird Tales thing,
Hmm.
so I thought it was certainly after 100 years, they would definitely do like have their own comic book. So it's very exciting to be doing that too, with the history and all the incredible stories and writers that they've had. It's the perfect, it's the perfect magazine to be turned into
Yes.
like a anthology comic book series.
Hmm.
So, along the lines of like creepy and eerie, but it was there. They were there before all of these guys. So Weird Tales should have its own comic and graphic novel.
Yeah, no, and I'm going to say that's a perfect segue to start going into, like, to start talking about the creative teams on some of these classic stories. You've already mentioned about Michael Avallone is the man who walked on air. Who's the creative team on that? Just, for the listeners. So yeah.
So yeah, so Michael Avallone's story, The Man Who Walked on Air, was published in Weird Tales in I think 1953 or 54. Uh, so it's one of his earliest works that was published. Um, so yeah, I reprinted it like a year ago.
Hmm.
So and got permission from David. And he had said to me at that time, I would love to adapt this into a comic one day.
Nice. Hmm.
So yeah, so that would made it easy. So when I was putting this together, so that'd be perfect. Because he has this deep personal connection to it.
Hmm.
So I said, all right, that'll be one of the stories. So then
Hmm.
we get Robert Hack.
Hmm.
Was it Hawk? See, I've heard some people say Hawk, but I'm
I thought it was hacked. That's why I was like,
me too. But I did hear someone say Hawk the other
okay.
day. I don't know if they were just their own pronunciation. So he's doing the art, so he does a lot of great stuff. He does
Hmm.
Doctor Who. He's done The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. He's done covers for me for some of my comic books.
Hmm.
So he's doing the art. David is writing it. Taylor Esposito is doing the lettering.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Hmm.
and it looks fantastic. We just released the first page, uh, a reveal on that like last week. So that's one of the stories, and at least half of the stories are adaptations
Hmm.
of stories that were originally published in Weird Tales.
Hmm.
Like so, we try to go with like some of the most iconic stories or authors of that time, and then there's a couple of original stories, but the original stories have a very strong connection with Weird Tales as well.
And then the next one, because like you said, you're trying to, kind of sort of well-known authors and stories. The next, I'm just going to point out this next story, and I'm going to let you talk about the writer and the artist. They're going to be adapting Ray Bradbury's the Scythe.
Yeah,
S
type. Yeah.
yeah, SCYTHE. So you want to talk about who the creative team are on that one?
Yeah. So Jonathan Mayberry is adapting, or he has already adapted it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he also has a connection to Ray Bradbury. He was mentored by Ray when he was a kid. I don't know how that. I mean, so he'd be a good guy to get on the show and maybe ask him some of these questions, because he says he was mentored by Ray when he was younger. So he had this connection with him, and and Ray has this connection with Weird Tale, so it kind of came full
Mm-hmm.
circle for both of them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that made a lot of sense too, than to have Jonathan do a Bradbury story, and then we got the right to the Skype,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which is kind of about the Grim Reaper and about
Mm-hmm.
the you know,
The weapon
what's
that
the
he
other
carries.
word for the Skype? It's
Yeah.
the blade that they use to
Yes.
cut
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, it's like kind of like about it getting passed around and all the different stories connect to it. So that's a really, and that's one of his better known stories too. And J.K. Woodward is doing the art for that. And we worked with J.K. many times.
Yes.
He's done Kolchak. He's done that great Kolchak Batman cover that everybody loves. He's
Mm-hmm.
done Star Trek. He did the Harlan Ellison Star Trek graphic novel,
Oh, that's right.
the Edge of
The
Forever.
city on the edge of
The
forever.
City
That's
on the
right.
Edge. And Harlan Ellison was also very good friends with Ray Bradbury.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there's a connection there too, I think. So
Yes.
I said, if he adapted Harlan Ellison, why not do Ray Bradbury as well?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's we try to pair everybody up, if they had some kind of connection,
Mm-hmm.
or it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another really cool story. And I'm a big fan of Ray. I can't say Ray Bradbury.
No, it's it. No, you just said it right
I was in
there. Yeah.
another interview too, and I kept going something on the Brad.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those names that like you never really
Mm-hmm.
say out loud. I've always read all his books, but
Mm-hmm. So, so James, if you don't mind, I'm going to add a little bit background information because, I interviewed Jonathan because he was doing
oh, you
the,
did.
yeah, because, I remember you asked if I could interview him because, correct me if I'm,
Oh, okay.
yeah, for the, one of the Joe Ledger,
Joe Ledger
graphic novel.
graphic
Yeah.
novel.
And then this is where Jonathan was telling me, it was like, he was telling me, I think, no, because if I remember correctly, I think, Jonathan was born and raised somewhere in Philadelphia. It was kind of a
Yeah.
rough neighborhood, you know. And I know, and I think that's when he start to learn martial arts and stuff. But the other thing was, I think the other one of his passions was, I think there was a library close to his house that, and I could be wrong, but I'm trying to go by memories that, a librarian saw that he would, always check out all these, science fiction books, horror books, and then I think the librarian said, "Hey, if you're interested in stuff like that," and I think like, get your parents' permission. I know Ray Bradbury. Why don't you come? I can take you to go. He's coming for
Okay.
some meeting or some. I can. I can take you to this meeting, and and I remember Johnson said, yeah, he met Ray Bradbury there. He excuse me, and he also met Harlan Ellison as
Okay.
well. And he said Harlan Ellison was a cool guy. Not the because and I'm sure on yes,
Yeah.
you're right, because we've seen on YouTube how vocal he is. He doesn't care. His opinion is gonna come out whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Jonathan said that his fond memory to Harlan Ellison was, when he met him, he was just this nice guy. All
So
right.
you did get the story. That's good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So I'm another story I want to point out. There's going to be another story that's going to be adapted is now Allison V's Harding's The Dat Man. Who is the creative team on that?
So that is being written by Nancy A. Collins, and Marco Finnegan's doing the artwork on that.
Hmm.
And that man, it was actually three stories that were published in Weird Tales in the 50s. And that's a very strange story. That's definitely a weird story of the collection.
Hmm.
Uh the Damp Man is this like big heavy set guy, kind of looks like the Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but he's kind of made up of like, well, he's made up of water. Well, all human beings are made up of water, but he's a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
made up of water. And he's always sweaty, and his
Mm-hmm.
water's dripping off him, and he's just very creepy and disgusting. And he becomes obsessed with this woman. Um, yeah, I don't want to give away too much,
Oh,
but yeah, he becomes
no,
obsessed with her and starts stalking her for some reason.
mm-hmm.
And that's the story where they try to they try not to
Yeah,
not to
don't
get
don't don't spoil it because I want to read that one. Because I think we
yeah.
because I,
So he basically that's it. He's stalking this woman and she's trying to get away from him.
okay.
And then and then we learn really what the damn man is really all about and what he's what he's looking for.
Oh,
Who
okay.
knows? We might adapt the other stories because we would love to do this every year, at
Yes.
least do
Mm-hmm.
other volumes.
Yeah. Now for listeners, and then James, I'm sorry, I'm going to also add for listeners like and jump right in for listeners. Nancy A. Collins, she's a well-known writer. She did the Sonia Blue Vampire Detective series,
Yes.
you know, and also too, I remember when I interviewed her, she did a Fantastic Four original novel, prose novel back in I think the late 80s, early 90s that had the Submariner in there. She's the first woman to write the Swamp Thing, and if I remember correctly, she said during her run that's when the Swamp Thing turned to a vertical title, and also too she was the first woman to write Vampirella.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, she's
so
done a lot. She's a
yes,
great writer. And
yes,
I've worked with her many times too.
yes, and every maybe like every once or twice a year, I know she's written a mini series. I think recently she just finished a mini series for oh one of the Blade Runner. I think one of the Blade Runner animated series or something. Blade Runner Lotus or
Mhm.
something. So I
Yeah.
know, yeah. So yeah. So listeners, if you guys get a chance, check out Nancy's work. Also, some of the like Jonathan Mayberry's and so forth. Um, but I'm going to focus on one last. Now, this is an original story, and I want you to tell listeners um, who's the creative team on this. You know why I picked this one out. It's Dr. Satan versus Jews, Jews the
Yeah.
Grandin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about that, and tell us who the creative team is on this one.
Well, I wrote that. Well, I haven't written it yet, but
You're gonna write it. You're
I'm
gonna.
writing, and Dave Schwartz is the artist on that. And Dave just did a story in my Monstrous the Kaiju issue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He did he did the Congo versus Gorgo story.
Yes, yeah.
Really fantastic, his art. So it was like, oh, I got to work with you again. So Dr. Satan, those are two characters that started in Weird Tales. Dr. Satan, so people, fans of Rob Zombie might know that name because there was he took the character name and created something completely different
Hmm.
in his movies. But Dr. Satan was a character started in Weird Tales. He was more like in the original stories, he was like kind of like a rich dude who was into the occult and committed crimes. It was more like stuff like bank robberies and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about him, not only his name, was that he kind of looked like Batman, but this was like 5, 6 years before Batman.
Hmm.
But he was all in red, and
Yeah.
he had a cowl, and he had these little pointy like horns on his head.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you look, because he was on the cover of Weird Tales a couple of times,
Hmm.
and the first cover is like that's Batman,
Hmm.
you know, but just in red. So I don't know if that's where they got the idea for the look of Batman, but it always reminded me of Batman. Uh, which is why we wanted Kelly Jones, who of course is known for Batman,
Oh
do
yeah.
the Dr. Satan cover, but he ended up turning in that the other cover
Oh.
with the monkey with the exposed brain. So and also Juice the Grandin is a different character who totally separate, also who first appeared in Weird Tales, and he was an occult detective.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be interesting to do something new to combine the two characters and then have, Dr. Satan, who's your occult villain,
Yeah.
and Mr. Grandin, who's your occult detective, and then bring them together. So that's something that hasn't been done before. So we have a really cool story there where Dr. Satan's like kidnapping kids,
Mhm.
and Jules de Grandin is brought in to find one of the kids, and then we find out what Dr. Satan is all about. But it's a really cool, dark story. And I like the idea of combining the old Weird Tales. So that's technically an original story, but
Mhm. Yeah.
very very much connected with Weird Tales and its history.
Oh, now I'm really looking forward to that story too. That sounds pretty cool. Oh, that's gonna be nice. All right, I'm gonna start now. You said Kelly Jones had done a cover. I want to talk about that lurid cover where, you know, and is this like the A cover? Is this the cover that you guys are gonna use? The one where the naked lady whose hair, long hair falls into the right there there's objects that are in the appropriate spots,
Right.
and where she's chained up, and there's this ape, like you said, with the exposed brain coming after her, coming up to her with this very long, um, hypodermic, those old-fashioned old, hypodermic needles where the needles are like so long. It's like,
Yeah.
so like you said, Kelly Jones has drawn this. So how did he come up with this? And I'm gonna say it's like a pre-code. It's one of those pre-code comic book covers.
Yes.
How did he come up with that idea?
That I don't know. Like I said, he was supposed to do Dr. Satan. So he didn't say anything about it. He just like said, "All right, here you go. Here's the cover." And I was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Are these characters that you had created? Are they, And he's like, "No, she just created this crazy cover." And I was like, "This, it's great."
Yeah.
And if you check out the early Weird Tales covers, it's very much in line.
Yes.
But Margaret Brundage did a lot of those covers,
Hmm.
and they were always a very risque.
Yes. Yeah.
Have a lot of scantily clad women, in various states of peril on the cover. So I was very happy he did do that because we didn't have a cover like that.
Hmm.
So it's very much, harkens back to Margaret Brundage and the
Hmm.
old Tales stuff. That's how they sold magazines back then. I mean, they
Yeah.
still sell magazines like that today.
Yeah.
So nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
Especially Kickstarter, you have tons of books like that. But yeah, but back that they were the first really to do it, back in the day, is to give you those kind of little spicy covers.
Yeah. And the other thing too, because like you said, it kind of falls along the lines of these risque covers, because like if you do the sword and sorcery, who wants to pick up what guy back then wants to pick up some big, or some muscular, some average looking muscular guy holding a sword, you'd be like, oh, eh. But if it's like, but if there's a woman like, like by his leg, she's, like, sort of a bikini thing, but it's not a bikini, to be
Right.
like, oh, I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to read that.
So the other thing then with that cover is that then I asked Kelly, well, since we have this cover, we need a story,
Hmm.
right? So I said, I asked permission, can I, write a story based on these characters? He says, yeah, great. So I'll be doing a story based on that and that cover. And so we named the monkey Professor Gaius. So I'll have to figure out who these people are and what's happening here in that image.
Oh my God. Now
That's
I
gonna be a lot of fun. So
it's
yeah, so that's another original story, and that's a completely original story because that really has no connection other than the
Yeah.
look. Uh,
Yeah.
but that'll be fun to figure out, and it'd be really cool to write a story based on a Kelly Jones characters.
Ah, that's gonna be nice. Now well, like James, I've mentioned, you know, um, I've mentioned begin. I'm definitely backing this project when it goes live. Now I cannot wait to read that story, this original story that you're gonna come up with, for Kelly Jones's character. Oh, This sounds so good.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exciting.
so all right. Um, Now I'm just gonna ask you like I kind of know some of the reward tiers, but you want to just go over some of the reward tiers? I know you don't. I know it's like of course the comic book. Is there going to be digital copies available if people want to pick up the digital copy or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. There'll be there are going to be three covers. So we have the Kelly Jones, which was the first one that we released. We just released the Dr. Satan cover. So we have a
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Satan cover that was by Colton
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, that just came out today, um, which I haven't even shown yet on my social media. And then the third cover is Eric Powell of the Goon fame,
Oh, that's nice. Mm-hmm.
who did a Cthulhu cover, which we haven't shown. I don't think that we're not gonna release that until the day of launch.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the three covers, and it'll be it's we're gonna do a hardcover, but the hardcover is gonna be exclusive to the Kickstarter, and the hardcover is gonna be a big format. It's gonna be 8.5 by
Mm-hmm.
11 inches,
Mm-hmm.
prestige format
Mm-hmm.
hardcover, which was exclusive to the Kickstarter, and so you have your choice of the three covers, and it'll be digital. And then when it's released later on, it'll best be released as a paperback. So
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter is the only place where you'll be able to get the hardcover.
Oh yes. Um. And then also, correct me if I'm wrong, you're gonna have t-shirts as one of your the tier rewards.
We'll have
Um,
a Weird Tales like officially licensed Weird Tales t-shirt. We're gonna do a challenge coin.
mhm,
We're gonna do the first Weird Tales challenge coin. We'll have Cthulhu on one side and then the Weird Tales logo on the other. Um, I'm trying to keep it a little simple where it's not too many
yeah,
rewards because no, I'm doing fulfillment right now for the big Kolchak classic monsters,
yes,
and we had so many rewards, and it's taking me so long to get this stuff out
mhm,
because like you know, thankfully people bought a lot of stuff, so
mhm,
you can get the challenge coin, you can get the prints, you can get all the different
yeah,
bucks. But sometimes it's easier. Well, it's easier. It's also it just makes it things simpler to not have too many rewards because
yeah,
also when you have so many rewards, you sell only a couple of this, a couple of that,
yeah,
and it makes things difficult. So I think we might just do just the challenge coin and the t-shirt.
mhm, yeah,
We'll probably do some prints or something like that. Um, we were thinking about doing trading cards, but I don't know.
mhm,
Um, we did the Kolchak trading cards, and
mhm,
they were pretty popular. So right now we're still kind of thinking about rewards, but we definitely got at least one t-shirt
mhm,
and a challenge coin.
mhm,
And most likely once we launch, there'll be a bunch of more stuff,
yeah,
you know,
mhm,
I think of. And there'll be issues of the older Weird Tales magazine, which will be available.
nice,
And we have some surprises. I do have some
mhm,
trading card type stuff that I have
mhm,
already. Uh, But yeah, it'd be like a lot of old Weird Tale stuff. Probably signed stuff
mhm.
will be available. Maybe some original art too.
No, but but James, I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say, I and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in some sense, I can understand because, like, you don't want to do too much because if it's just you, your wife, and another because of course it's all you got to remember it's you're just trying to limit to what can I actually not only make sure that we have the comic the graphic novel out, but then also to manually too. It's like you got to pack this stuff too, and it's just and
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and and I do feel like a lot of the Kickstarters maybe go overboard with a
mhm,
lot of the rewards, and then it should really be the focus should be on the book.
mhm,
Like when I was, I managed the campaign for Kelly Jones and Matt Wagner's Dracula
that's right, yeah,
graphic novels. And they keep it simple. They don't really do much
mhm,
in terms of merch. They've been kind of adding more as now that they did the third campaign.
mhm,
But it's mostly about the book.
mhm,
They just put out the book, and then there's like they'll do some like original artwork and
yeah,
maybe one other thing.
yeah,
So Yeah, I think sometimes it just also becomes a little overwhelming when you have like 20 or 30 different rewards. And
Hmm.
they also did a thing. They did start doing t-shirts, and then I think they made a mistake where they offered like 20 different versions of t-shirts.
Oh my God.
And I was also in charge of distributing the t-shirts. So then it was just like, oh, and they sold a lot of t-shirts, but it's also like just, but when you have so many, there was like, oh, five of this t-shirt,
Yeah.
and I think you'd be better off if you just had like one or two
Yeah.
versions. I think there's also that this problem with people when they have too much choice, then they kind of get overwhelmed and they just
Yes.
don't. Then they say,
Yeah.
"Oh, screw it. I don't know what to choose." It's like trying to watch a movie on Netflix. You never actually get to watch the movie because you just keep scrolling through and going, there's probably a better movie than this." And then that's what I always do.
Yeah.
We end up not watching anything because we're always looking for the best movie,
Yeah.
you know?
No, but that makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And when I was a kid, we had like three or four channels and you watch more
Yes.
TV. Not that you should be watching more TV, but when you only had like three or four, you only had three networks,
Yes. Hmm.
uh your choice was simple, just, but then when now to watch TV or movies or anything, or even now you can watch YouTube videos or TikTok, your choices are infinite.
Yes.
And you
That's
kind
right.
of get like frozen and like, I don't know what to watch. And then you end up just watching some cooking show or something
Yeah.
on YouTube because it's just like the easiest thing, to just throw on in the background.
That's true. No. Um, I, I'm just asking, are you in this campaign, are you gonna have like one of those retailer tiers where retailers can buy X amount of books? Are you gonna have that?
I don't think we can this time because we have a deal with Blackstone.
Oh, okay.
So I think Blackstone is going to be publishing the trade paperback
Mm-hmm.
after the campaign.
Ah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so like I said before, Weird Tales has a deal with Blackstone Publishing where they put out the Weird Tales line of novels.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they also put out the audiobooks for the magazine.
Oh,
Uh,
that's nice.
they want to put out an audiobook for this, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to figure out how to do an audio book version.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so Blackstone's involved, and I think so. Blackstone will be handling distribution of the books. After the Kickstarter. So I don't think we can do,
Oh no,
but maybe we
no,
can since it's just I don't know. We'll have to try to work that
no,
out,
no,
how
no.
that'll work out. But the good thing is that, after the Kickstarter, then this will go wide. So
Yes.
it'll the paperback anyway
Mm-hmm.
will be available everywhere. So you'll definitely be able to get the Weird Tales paperback version of this graphic novel in Barnes and Noble, or Books a Million, everywhere. So hopefully by the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be available. But yeah, so that's the good thing. But you know, this will be the only place to get the hardcover, so there won't be
Oh
another
yes.
hardcover. So we'll just like we do with all of my other campaigns, we just print a few thousand of them and that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
No, but that's why I'm going to back this Kickstarter because I want that hardcover. I want that Kelly Jones. I want that Kelly Jones cover on a
Yeah.
hardcover. I don't want it on a
And
paper.
I don't think that yeah, and I don't think we're gonna have the Kelly Jones available in paperback at all. So the Kelly
Oh.
Jones cover I think will be completely exclusive to Kickstarter, and the hardcovers will be exclusive to
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter. So the only place you're gonna get that Kelly Jones hardcover will be
Mm-hmm.
through Kickstarter. And I see a lot of the stuff that I've done like then ends up on eBay and they selling it for like two or three times the
Wow,
price.
that's nice.
Yeah. They're already selling issues of Kolchak Freak Meets the Classic Monsters. Yeah, somebody put it up like the three issues for
Yeah.
$90. It's like it didn't even come out yet. It's
Yeah.
gonna come out.
Yeah.
So just wait and you can pay the $6.66.
Let's see. Um, I'm almost running out of time. I'm going to ask, can we have 5 more minutes? Are you okay with
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Okay. So
absolutely.
we just got a few more questions. So, um, what was the what was one or some of the fun things that you love working on this particular campaign for the Weird Tales?
Hmm. Well, I do. I mean, I do like writing stories too. So I mean, that's gonna be fun doing
Hmm.
the Dr. Satan story, and of course, like that Kelly Jones
Oh yeah.
story. That's gonna be really cool. The
Hmm.
Doctor Professor Gaius. Uh, but it's always fun to put these together and to work with all these people, these amazing people. Uh,
Hmm.
and we didn't even mention Steve Niles. Steve Niles
That's
is
right.
writing a Robert E. Howard story, and then we got Blake Northcott who's doing Shambleau.
Hmm.
C.L. Moore, one of the first space opera stories. So, we get to work with Blake and Steve Niles and Jonathan and David Avalone again.
Yes. Hmm.
Uh, you know, and we're working with some new artists and and the artist for Steve Niles' story, Andre Lunatic, that's the name he goes by.
Hmm.
He's this Russian artist and he's amazing. So this is the first time we working with him, and he's incredible. So we're definitely going to be using him again. And then we got George Quadros, who did Blake Northcott's story, Shambleau,
Hmm.
sci-fi, space opera epic.
Hmm.
And his work's amazing too. So it's looking really good, and I think we have about half of the stuff. Half of the stories are done.
Hmm.
All the scripts are in except for the ones I'm writing.
Hmm.
uh, and most of them are already drawn.
Hmm.
So we're well on our way with this book.
Hmm.
I would love to see it done in just a couple of more months,
Oh, that's gonna be
but
nice.
you never know.
Excuse me. Well, but the thing is, at least you have a time frame of when you want it done. Like you're trying to look for it at least sometime, in the next few months you're looking at. And plus the other thing too is that, it's you're like we've talked about, it's like you've got so many other campaigns going on at different phases, you know, like the Kolchak, the classic monster one. It sounds like you're going to be ready to ship those out soon. Um, the Dr. Omega issue 2,
Mm.
that's probably in a different phase. So it's like you have, you know.
Yeah. Well, we did. The last couple of years have been increasing the number of campaigns that we
Hmm.
do, and then I'm also doing a creep show anthology. It's a prose
Thing.
anthology, which is not a Kickstarter, so that's gonna just go directly to
Hmm.
bookstores and online retailers. And we're very close to finishing that
Hmm.
right now. So all that's happening right now. I'm doing fulfillment for Kolchak,
Hmm.
putting together the creep show anthology, finishing that up,
Hmm.
trying to get the Weird Tales
Hmm.
campaign launched, and we're finishing up the last few pages of the second issue of Dr. Omega. And we still have to fulfill the other campaigns from last year, like Darkest Depths and
Oh yes, yes.
Monstrous, the Kaiju
Oh
issue.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. So there's like at least like six projects that are, very much in play right at this moment. So yeah, I'm pretty busy. You got people complaining about Kolchak because it hasn't gotten out all of it. We've gotten maybe half them out.
But
Speaking of- Yeah, did you get this? I don't
no,
know if
not yet. You know
I
what?
got
I'm going to say as long as it's completed, as long as I completed.
it is complete.
So okay. Oh, and also, sorry, listeners. I know this is audio, but James is
The
holding up the
The
paperback
Kolchak
coach.
Errors just came out yesterday.
Okay. So.
So that came out to Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all that. So Kolchak Errors was part of the Kolchak Classic Monsters campaign,
Yes. Hmm.
but it was its own book. It's a prose anthology of stories throughout Kolchak's career,
Hmm.
starting when he was in high school. No, no. So this one's starting from when he's actually in World War II. He's like,
Hmm.
20s until his semi-retirement in the 90s. So it's 13 stories. And
Oh.
there's illustrations, a bunch of illustrations throughout. So now you can get that on Amazon or you can get that at your local I think it should it will be available to local comic book shops too.
Mhm.
But or you can ask for it,
Yeah.
yeah, and get them to order it. because we'd like to be in more bookstores. That'd be
Oh
cool.
yes, and the thing is too, there's probably some Kolchak fans that's never heard of, that hasn't heard about your Kickstarter, or there's some that's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that, and then they can pick it up. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah,
um,
I know. I mean, some people like just prefer getting this stuff through the comic book shops or like
yeah.
Amazon. But yeah, I mean, it's a different type of person that backs the Kickstarters because they also have to be very patient.
hmm
Often they have to wait a year
No, and
until
yeah.
they get their rewards. So some people, they'd rather just walk into a comic book store and then they see it on the shelf and
hmm
then grab it. So we would like to see more of that where
hmm
it's more available and you can go into like your comic book shop and just, get these books.
And James, I mean, forgive me for saying this, but and you can correct me, but I think what I like about it is that it, like like for me, I like to back the Kickstarters because there's exclusive stuff. Yes, I have to wait a while, but once you start putting out, excuse me, the product is done, I get it. Then it's like, oh, look at this beautiful, like the Koshak 50th anniversary, the Jerry Ordway cover. That's the one I wanted, and
Hmm.
it was worth the wait because it's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, like I said, I try to make that exclusive where it's only the Kickstarters you get the hardcovers. So we never printed any more hardcovers
hmm
for the 50th anniversary. So whatever we printed, I think it was like 2000. That was it.
hmm
And now I don't even have copies, I think, for some of the
hmm
variant covers. Yeah, that's been selling for like $100 on eBay.
hmm
Even the one-shot comic, because we only printed, I think, like about 1,200 copies of the
Yeah.
one-shot comic. Uh, and I seen copies of that going actually selling for like 80 or $90
Wow.
because that was very limited,
Yes.
and that was the only place you can get it was Kickstarter. So
Yeah.
the Kickstarter is, yeah, it's not only like that you have to wait and it's earlier on process in the process, but it's also exclusive stuff that won't ever be available
hmm
ever again. And also the stuff, most of the stuff you're going to get on Amazon will be print on demand. It's
hmm
is but all the Kickstarters that I do, I never do print on demand. I
hmm
always do print run, and they're very high quality
Yes, they are. Yeah.
copies. So you also get better quality stuff and you get exclusive. So,
Mhm.
the hardcovers are always the most popular too. So, and they do sell out. So, I mean, you will make your money back, I think.
Mhm.
So get two, get one for yourself and one you can sell
Oh,
at some
yeah,
point.
that's right.
But yeah, I mean, you can, because I sell a lot of stuff on eBay, and
hmm
so I see it come up all the time, and Kolchak stuff comes up all the time, not just my stuff, but Kolchak's items are always people constantly listing Kolchak stuff, and it does go for money. Even
hmm
the old Moonstone stuff,
hmm
goes for money, and the old the Mark Dawidziak book on like the making and the behind the scenes culture stuff, which went out of print years ago. You can't get those books. Those books go for about 200, 300, even $500 a
Wow.
copy. Yeah, so it is kind of crazy the whole
hmm
like Kolchak collectibles
hmm
thing. But yeah, it goes for good money, Kolchak. So hold on to all your Kolchak stuff.
The other thing also what I love is that some of your Kickstarter like let's go Shakespeare Unleashed or Monstrous classic Monsters Unleashed. I think what's really good is that let's say if someone's interested but they can't afford the Kickstarter at that time because whatever for whatever financial or budgetary reasons, but it gets a second life years later where something goes. I remember that on the Kickstarter, I couldn't get it because I didn't have the money at that time, but now I can at least buy it off the shelf, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So all
That.
the stuff, all the books are always available after a few months.
hmm
Hopefully, if we time it right, will be available on Amazon and bookstores or on my website.
hmm
Uh, yeah, I mean, the Kickstarter is good too for signed stuff because you can't, get signed stuff off of Amazon. but everything mostly, I mean, the books will always be available. The merch sometimes isn't available
Mm-hmm.
after the Kickstarter, if we sell out.
Yeah.
I just don't make it available
Oh
because
no, no. Yeah.
there's stuff that I just had, I haven't gotten around to releasing, like a lot of the shirts,
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Or the prints often aren't available.
Yeah. And it's
I
just
might sell them at a convention or something like that. But
yeah.
yeah, so it's always better to get it from the Kickstarter because that's where everything's going to be available. But so the books will be available, but not necessarily the hardcovers, and
Yeah.
some of the merch might not be available.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the good thing about the Kickstarters. It's a lot of it is exclusive, and you kind of rewarded,
Mm-hmm.
by kind of being in the know and getting that stuff through the campaign,
Mm-hmm.
because it does become valuable,
Yeah.
especially like stuff that would be like licensed stuff like the Weird Tales or
Mm-hmm.
Kolchak, because you don't see that stuff anywhere else.
And then I think it's kind of good that like it's good that you have your pre-launch page because once you have these notifications, at least for like listeners like me, when I know it's like, okay, you're going to be launching this soon, at least I can budget some money to figure out what not only you know buy the Weird Tales graphic novel, but if I have extra money,
Yeah,
if I saved up enough, you know, I'm saying I'm not saying it's going to be, but let's say if there's that Kelly Jones print, it's like, and if it's an autograph one, I'm like,
yeah,
I may pick that up because you know, I don't know when I'll see Kelly Jones. I don't know if I'll be at a convention in the mainland or if he's going to pop
right.
down at a local comic shop. So yeah,
Well,
yes.
Kickstarter now has a thing where you can pay on time, as you can pay in installments. So
Oh,
you
okay.
can, I think, even break it down to like 3 or 4 installments, uh, and do payments that way. They
Oh,
started that like last year. So
oh,
yeah, because some of the Kickstarters can get a little pricey, so
yes.
you can do that. But you also, even if you back at a lower tier, send out surveys after the campaign, and that's
Mm-hmm,
where we gather up your information, like your address and
mm-hmm,
shirt size and stuff that. And at that time, you'll have an opportunity to add on any other reward. So even if you just back with $1,
mm-hmm,
you'll get the survey too, and then you can sometimes it's 6 months after or 10 months after the campaign. So then you can, if you're in a better place financially, you could pick up more rewards or the more expensive stuff.
no, but that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Sorry, Jane. Let me just start wrapping up already. There's a fun question I want to ask you. In your interview with Nerds Who Rule the World, you mentioned to Heather that on one of your social platforms that there's another James Aquilone, who is a young comic book artist. I'm going to ask, have you thought about reaching out to him to see if he'd be interested in doing a project with you?
Oh no, I was more. I wanted them to just go away because I was the only James Aquilone when you Googled me. Now it can get confusing. There's actually two others, I think, and I think they're both somehow connected with like comic books and stuff.
Mhm.
But there was this one, yeah, I don't know. I guess I Google myself a lot, and he came up and he'd won some art contest. He's going to like the School of Visual Arts or something.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's weird. There's only like maybe like three James Aquilones out there, and they're all into comic books. So maybe there's a thing with
There's a
the
sto-
name.
there's a story here, man. There's like it's like, the multiple life of James Aquilone,
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right. It's such a weird name, and I've never really met. No, I've never met anyone in person.
Hmm.
With the name, other than my father, who but I really haven't seen in like 30 years anyway. So,
Hmm.
well, he's James Aquilone too. So, I don't count him though.
Hmm.
So yeah. So it's the name. Well, see, technically it's not my name because my father was adopted by like his stepfather
Hmm.
and took the name. So that's why there was a guy named Aquilone who kept reaching out to me. I was like, are
Hmm.
we related? And I was like, no, we're not because I'm not really related to anyone biologically.
Hmm.
anyone with the name Aquilone.
Oh, okay.
So I probably shouldn't even use that name when I became a writer. I should have come up with a pen name, but now I'm stuck.
No, but I'm going to say, James, thank you very much for sharing a little bit about your background. Thank you very much. Um, two more questions. What is your convention schedule like for this year, 2026? If you
At the
can
end of
find time.
I know, right? Well, I'm gonna be very busy in February with a bunch of shows and stuff. I'm going to I'll be a guest at the Long Island Convention of Horror,
Oh, that's going to be
which is in
nice.
Long Island, New York. Um, David Avalone is gonna be there. Um, Russ Braun is gonna be there. Russ, who's done a bunch of covers. He did the Night Stalker cover.
Mm-hmm.
He did the issue 2 of Kolchak Meets the Classic Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Kolchak Meets Frankenstein. Uh, I think Monstrous has done a few other covers for me too.
I know.
So Russ is going to be there, and that'll be a very cool convention at the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually doing a card show. I'm going to be
Oh, that's
selling
nice.
trading cards.
Yeah.
That's locally in Staten Island. In February 21st,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be selling cards. I've gotten very much. I got back into sports cards, but also non-sports cards. So
Mm-hmm.
I got cards all over the place here. I guess like I can reach out and I got like
Mm-hmm.
Marvel cards. I don't know if you do cards. I got like all these Marvel cards.
Oh, God.
And they're worth money. It was kind of crazy. I got a Thor die cut card and it's worth like $30,
Oh,
which I
God.
pulled out of a thing. This is actually a cool card. I mean, no one can see it, but it's a Thor die cut,
Yeah.
right? And I pulled that out. There's the Marvel Studios
Mm-hmm.
box, and it's like worth like $30. So you can get so I'm doing cards now, and
Mm-hmm.
we have I have so you got to make it a video show. So I have we were doing the Kolchak trading
Mm-hmm.
cards.
Oh,
So we came
mm-hmm.
out with the first set of Kolchak trading cards
Mm-hmm.
and 11 card set.
Mm-hmm.
I do an autograph card too, like the first I autographed the card with the artwork from my story in there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably be doing more trading cards. And the Dr. Omega has its trading card set too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've been selling trading cards and stuff on Whatnot and on eBay, and I do a show on Whatnot. At least every Sunday we do a card break, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to just do a Monstrous show. I'll be selling my books and
Oh,
comics and stuff,
nice. Yeah.
and I get rid of all that merch.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yes.
talking about all that signed stuff. I have a lot of signed books and stuff that I never even made available because the writers and artists signed the stuff after the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So I have stuff from like who do I oh I have like Russ Braun signed copies of his cover
Mm-hmm.
for Kolchak Meets the Classic Monsters, which
Yeah.
wasn't available during the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But then he ended up signing it once I had copies. So I have a lot of signed stuff that was never available. So I would love to do like a weekly show on Whatnot that was just monstrous stuff, and it would just so I'll once I get that all together, then
Mm-hmm.
maybe every Monday there'll be a monster show where I'll offer up all of the signed stuff. And I have like a ton of Rodney Barnes
Mm-hmm.
signed books too. So I would offer that and all the other merch that I have laying around and I need to make room for
Mm-hmm.
that. Like I said, it was not either it wasn't once available or it was even stuff that we just kind of tested out, like
Yeah.
proofs and stuff that we never got around to making available.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be fun to go on Whatnot. Whatnot is a lot of fun, which is there are like live streams and you do
Mm-hmm.
live buying and selling, where it's like an auction. You can
Mm-hmm.
do auction or you can just do like a regular sale, but often what they do is they throw something up and then you got like 30 seconds and
Mm-hmm.
then the people bid on it or whatever. Or you can do a set price too. So I know the first person I knew doing that was J.K. Woodward. He was doing like a weekly show on
Wow.
there where he
Mm-hmm.
was drawing on the
Yeah.
show and then offering like illustrations and remarks and stuff like that. So you can have a lot of fun on there because it's live and
Yeah.
uh, you get to interact with
Mm-hmm.
the host and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool because in some sense it's almost like, almost like sort of like It's not like a private signing or a private,
Hmm.
I mean, because again, it's like I don't know when I'll see J.K. Woodward, either at a because they're not going to go to all the conventions, but let's say if I go to a convention in the mainland, you know, I may see him, I may not, or he may come
Yeah.
here, and I may see him either at a local store, or he may not. So yeah, but that's pretty cool that.
Yeah, you can like sign copies of comics like right there live, and then even if they
Wow.
want to write it out to you or do an inscription, you can do stuff like that. So Whatnot's really good for comics
Mm-hmm.
and for like cards and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So I know a lot of comic book like writers and artists and publisher on them. 'Cause I think Mad Cave does a show every Monday
Oh, that's nice.
on
Yeah.
there where they offer up like exclusives and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty.
And you
That's
can
pretty.
get really good deals too
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And even if you buy like old comics, like vintage stuff, you can get some really good deals on through the auctions. Just if you go in a room where there's not too many people and they're not bidding against each other, you can get
Yeah.
stuff. And
That's
they do a lot of giveaways too.
hmm That's pretty cool. All right. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna wrap this up. Last question. Any closing words to our listeners?
So definitely check out Weird Tales, graphic novel, in early November. Uh,
I mean, early
we're hoping
February.
that
Early,
yeah,
early
early
February.
February. We're
So.
thinking February 9th, but you never know. It can change.
Hmm.
If there's a big blizzard and they knock
Yes.
out all the power, which is very possible since we're
Oh.
going to get a storm every week. Uh, but we're hoping that's going to be our biggest campaign.
Hmm.
And right now we have over 1,100 followers on the pre-launch page, so it looks like we're going to break our record for
Nice.
most followers
Hmm.
campaign. Um, so yeah, I mean, this is also, the most money I put into a campaign as well.
Hmm.
So we have big cover artists and we have big
Yes.
writers and some really cool stories and and we have and then a lot of the Weird Tale stuff that we are adapting we had a license too. So we licensed a lot of stories,
Hmm.
so it's all very professional and
Yes.
so we're trying to do a really big campaign with this. So that should be really fun. And yeah, we got a big year because a lot of stuff's coming out.
Hmm.
Check Errors, that was our first book that came out for the year. Creep Show
Hmm.
anthology, which is 13 stories. It's prose, but each story will have a full page of art of the
Hmm.
creep from EV Cantata, which is looking really awesome. And yeah, that's one of the covers I forgot. Russ Braun did the cover for Creep Show, and
Nice.
it's really awesome. So that's coming out in May,
Hmm.
and then we also have a big cult check campaign coming this year, which
Okay.
I can talk about.
Oh yeah.
But we'll talk to you probably later on
Yes.
about that. But it's really big, and it's not necessarily a book.
No,
Um,
just yeah, just.
so that's in
Hmm.
the works, and I've already seen images because I'm not running it. It's somebody else that I
Hmm.
license it to. But that's going to be really cool. And there's at least one other Kolchak book coming out from me, and then we're gonna release the books from the campaigns from last year,
Hmm.
like Darkest Depths and the Monstrous Kaju issue, and then who knows? We know we'll come up with something. And then we got to do some more cool comics and books, and you know, and we're like I said, we're always expanding. We expand. We have a YouTube channel now, Monsters Verse, and
Oh,
the
nice.
whatnot.
Hmm.
So just making myself busier and busier.
Well, I'm going to say in some sense, yes, you are. But you know what's kind of good too is that it's you're adapting to the times too, because it's like you said, you're doing videos on whatnot. You're thinking of once you can work out your schedule, you're going to start doing the monstrous verse on Mondays on whatnot. You have a YouTube channel. I mean, because the thing is, you're trying to reach a larger audience, which is great because then that
Yeah.
way it's like and if I'm jumping ahead, stop me, but at least you can go on there saying, hey, I'm going to be launching this Kickstarter campaign. It's going to be in a month or two. This is what it is. We're going to have the pre-launch page. I'll let you know when the pre-launch page comes up. If you guys are interested, sign up for, and then that way again,
Yeah.
people can start going, yeah, I like his work. I like what he's doing. Let me put some money aside, or yeah, put me down for that because, I missed the other Kickstarter. I wanted to get that. I couldn't get that hardcover exclusive, but there's another one coming up, and I want this. I'm gonna back this up. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, I mean, like you not at this point you have to start doing videos because that's really the thing now that gets the most attention on social
Hmm.
media. And you do get a lot of views on TikTok
Hmm.
and YouTube that you don't get like just by putting up posts on Facebook. And I've been on Facebook for a while and I have a lot of followers there, but you're always just kind of playing to the same people. So
Hmm. Yes, yeah.
I'm finding like a lot of new people are following us on
Hmm.
YouTube and TikTok. I mean, I was very hesitant to go on TikTok. I didn't want to do TikTok,
Hmm.
but then I finally figured a way of doing videos.
Hmm.
So yeah, so check us out on TikTok
Yes.
if you have TikTok with
No.
Monstrous verse. I think it's Monstrous underscore verse.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Right. So, James, mahalo. Thank you in Hawaiian. Thank you for giving me another opportunity to interview. Thank you very much. Um, it's, and I know I keep saying this to you. Just again, thank you for making comics. I know you do prose novels and stuff, and I want to thank you for, for your publishing company, Monstrous Books, because for me, that gives creators, writers, and artists a new outlet to create new stories, or or to continue their characters in either prose anthology or hopefully maybe in a comic book format. Like I'm gonna, I'm sorry, I'm gonna, like with Nancy A. Collins, it gives her an outlet to continue her writings and you know expose new readers to her work, and hopefully they go back and they check out
yeah,
some of her
absolutely.
previous works, or if she's at a convention they can go, I know you wrote a story, you did a original story for James Aquilone. I read that story, and then that makes a new connection for her. And I think that's great. Just thank you for doing that. So, and I wish you all the success with the Weird Tales Kickstarter campaign. I've said this throughout the interview. I'm definitely backing this up because some of the stories it sounds pretty cool. Well, let's be honest. I just want to get the hardcover, Kelly Jones cover,
Yeah. We'll have to see if Kelly will sign some. That would be really
Oh,
cool.
oh God, please don't. Then I gotta like, okay. I gotta save a little more money. But if he does, I think I'm definitely
Yeah,
picking that up.
yeah.
All right. Now, listeners, if you are a new comic book reader or a lifelong comic book reader who loves to read like fantasy or horror, science fiction, pulp stories, please check out the Weird Tales graphic novel. The pre-launch page is up and running. Go to Kickstarter, click that button that you want to be notified because, as James mentioned, the campaign looks like it's going to begin probably in the beginning of February. Um, now, and like and as I always keep saying, if you have a relative or if you have a friend who loves, the original Weird Tales magazine, please consider picking up an extra copy and giving it to them as a very special gift. Or as James says, for us comic book readers, sometimes, we're speculators. Pick up an extra copy. James has mentioned that he's seen, on eBay, some of his stuff, like the Kolchak stuff, is like it's going for a lot of money. So think about that, guys. So, all right. I want to thank Drew, the Coast of Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. And I want to thank you, the listener. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys, aloha.
Iron blade. can't rest tomorrow.